Your call has been forwarded to an automatic voice message system. 994 is not available. At the tone, please record your message. When you have finished recording, you may hang up or press 1 for more options.
Hello, I'm Jason Weiner, and this week on Checking In, we check in with Jude Clover. Jude is in hospitality. He makes you feel welcome for money, but he'd do it for free. A sport enthusiast who doesn't mind wearing a hat, but bristles when scarves get involved. Jude is a pathfinder. He navigates using his wits and landmarks. He didn't miss the turn. He actually knows a better way to go. We'll ask Jude if we're ever going to get there. This week on Checking In with Jason Weiner.
Thanks for calling Jude. This is Jude.
Hello, Jude. This is Jason Weiner checking in.
Hey, how are you?
I'm great. I'm just calling to see how's it going, where it lives, and who's feeding it.
Where it lives and who's feeding it?
Well, or more to the point, just how are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm doing well. I feel good.
May I? So you started life in Indiana.
Yes.
The Middle West, the heartland.
Yes, the popcorn capital.
Now, what town are you from?
Valparaiso, which is where Orville Redenbacher hails from. And that's where Orville Redenbacher's gourmet popping corn began. And every year on what is the Labor Day weekend, that is Popcorn Festival weekend, and there's a parade. And people, it's like the Rose Bowl parade, but the floats are made out of popcorn kernels and popped popcorn that are painted and that adorn these different floats. And there's the mascot is Mr. Popcorn, and he has kind of like a derby looking hat, like one of the like someone in a barber shop.
Sounds like Mr. Peanut.
No, more like Mr. Peanut has like a top hat. This Mr. Popcorn has like a derby, like he's in the Ragtime Gals or something like that, like a barbershop quartet type of whatever that
but
style.
Still kind of Depression era, like the 20s, 30s,
yeah,
right?
that style hat. So that's Mr. Popcorn. And then the parade comes by, and all of the all the different civic groups and things are in the parade. And then Orville, when he was alive, would always be out and about in the festival. And in the morning before the parade, they had a popcorn panic 5-mile run, and Orville used to stand at about mile 1 and watch the runners go by. And I gave Orville Redenbacher a high five one time while I was running by with the popcorn panic. Yeah, local celebrity.
Now, how old were you when you were doing that?
I remember like middle school and high school.
You ran 5 miles in middle school?
I used to enjoy, I still enjoy running.
Was it a 5K or was it 5 miles?
No, this was a 5-miler, so it was a little bit different. And as I've gotten older, I've learned that is an atypical length for most runners to measure themselves by. There's 5K, there's 10K, and the people who do miles, but most people don't set out to run 5 miles at a time. Yeah.
Well, most people don't set out to change the world of popping corn either. So
that's very true, and he did, and that is still my town's claim to fame.
How many people in this town?
You know what? Not a ton. I think like 25, 30,000, something like that.
And was the popcorn factory actually there?
Yeah. Well, one of them. I think at that point it had gotten, it had gotten larger. But,
sure. But they would bring the corn in, because I've spent some time in Indiana, and where the corn is as high as an elephant's eye and stuff like that. And they would bring it straight from the fields in one side of the factory, and out the other side would emerge popcorn. Is that correct?
I never saw that. I can't corroborate that. I have no idea.
You didn't take a field trip to the popcorn factory?
No. Isn't that weird? That's so weird. And my mom was a kindergarten teacher for 40 years, and so was my aunt. Maybe I should call my aunt and ask her why that never happened.
That's mysterious, isn't it?
We went to Connor Prairie instead.
What is? Oh, now
I saw the maple syrup come out of the trees.
On the prairies. There were trees on the prairie. That sounds incongruous.
It explains a lot about it.
Yeah, how did they have trees on the prairie? That doesn't make it. There should be a little house and nothing else, if I'm not mistaken, and some dogs.
Right. Yeah, I mean, your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah, and were these questions that were bandied about amongst your peer group when you were a boy? Like, what goes on at the popcorn factory? Why does the prairie have trees? Did you guys talk about stuff like that?
We didn't really. It was a lot of, for me, the circles I was in, it was a lot of basketball. Indiana, you got it. You almost have to. Everyone has a hoop in their driveway.
Jude's indifference to the inner workings of the popcorn factory and the mysterious trees on the prairie raised eyebrows. But being a gracious host, I decided not to pursue it. Soon, conversation turned to Jude's days as a riverboat captain in the deadly jungles of Orlando. An experience that would change Jude's life forever.
That's part of why. That's why I am how I am now.
So you literally went straight from being like the hick from French Lick, and you go straight into the go-go world of big-time amusement parks, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah, world-famous Jungle Cruise. Yeah,
that's where you started on the Jungle Cruise.
Yeah, that was my very first job aside from teaching tennis. Was at the Jungle Cruise.
Really? So as a Jungle Cruise captain or what, that you go straight into the rank of captain with the Jungle Cruise, right?
Yes, let's see. My name's Jude. I'll be your captain. You're like, yeah, so Jungle Cruise, boat captain, skipper.
Then you had the stripes on you had the little epaulettes or whatever, right?
We did not. We had moved to the khaki. We had khaki shirts. I had a classic uniform or costume, but they changed the costume in the time since I was a skipper, and then before I became a manager there.
Now, see, and becoming a manager, so then all of a sudden you're taking the recruits, these raw recruits,
yes,
and you're whipping them into shape, right? You're teaching them the way to be a hospitable person.
I did, yeah.
But did you get any kind of real rejects or backwards types that were, brushing their teeth with a toilet brush and combing their hair with a...
We had someone that was deathly afraid of public speaking, and we had another person that was that had like a legitimate phobia of water. And they both revealed these things in their interviews, and somehow they ended up at the Jungle Cruise, where all you do is speak while you go around in circles on the water. So I don't know how... That was a miss.
And those were your charges? You had to shepherd those people?
Yeah, I had to either shepherd them or, help them find a new location. One of them, I'm really proud of the fact that we helped her overcome her fear of public speaking. And
the other guy drowned? Or?
The other guy, I think we moved to a different, location. So he was, worked at Space Mountain or something.
Well, I tell you, Jude, I am glad you moved that guy to a different location. I think, at least spiritually, you've moved me to a different location. Thanks for checking in.
Thank you, Jake. This has been delightful.
This has been Jason Weiner, checking in.
Have a good one. It's like large groups of people breathing heavily, all right near one another. There is a camera that faces me, and I've only turned it on once, and I'm not 1,000% sure what it's for. One of them is a Japanese pancake, and the other one is the squid balls. Jocks, like the actual basketball and football players, were like, "Oh yeah, sure, tennis." And I said, well, yeah, give it a shot.